everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for being here and joining me for this get ready with me using all drugstore products. We are definitely doing a long video. It's a talk through video. I'm sharing my thoughts of products that are new to me, some new launches. I'm giving you my first impressions, and then I'm giving you some thoughts of things that I've used before. And we have to address it because you're going to see it in a moment. We had some major problems with the foundation that I had selected for today. We had to start over, wipe everything off. I don't think I've ever done that in a video. I think I've just been able to sort of find ways to make it work or just leave it as is and just keep on going. But it was so bad that I just couldn't, because I knew it was going to change the end result. And I feel like the end result complexion-wise is so much better than if I would have just left on that foundation. And we're gonna get into it. This is the look that I ended up doing today. And I feel like after having so many issues in the beginning, I feel like we ended up in a good place where I'm happy with the way it turned out. I hope you will enjoy this type of video. Let me know what you think of these longer sort of get ready with me's. If you like drugstore makeup, let's just chat about it. Let me know what you want to see in the future for content. And yeah, that's it. So let's get started. Let's see how this turned out. So for primer, I have a few different things that I was kind of thinking about using. I've used the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, the pink one with niacinamide, in a previous video, and I've used it a lot, honestly, and it's really good, actually, and I like that, and it's kind of sticky. I also had this little mini in the back of my drawer. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. I don't remember if I tried this. It's supposed to be their version of the Tatcha primer that I used to use a long time ago. And I think I may go for this one, but I also have the 4-in-1 Perfector from Maybelline that I was thinking about using, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to play with my foundation. So let's talk about the foundation first before we go into primers and applications, to kind of give you some details as to why I chose this foundation. So the one that I'm going to try to make work today is the NYX Bear With Me Blur. I ordered the shade Fair based off of the swatches online. This seemed like it could be a match for me, but for whatever reason, I cannot get my matches right when it comes to drugstore products, specifically drugstore foundations. They tend to be very hard to match. I don't have that problem with high-end brands. I don't know what it is, but I chose Fair, and so it's gonna probably be a little odd. So this is supposed to be a blurring tint foundation, and it's on the back, it says matte blurred finish with a medium coverage. And some of the ingredients are very similar. When I was reading the description of this, the first thing that I thought of was my NARS Soft Matte Foundation. There's some similarities in ingredients. Not every ingredient in NARS is in this one from NYX, but it's got a few key ingredients that I think might make it similar. The NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. This also is in the shade Fair, but it's quite golden and yellow, so I think it'll be okay. I'm just not sure how this is going to work, this foundation, over the glowy primer. So I think I'm not going to use that today, just to play it safe. And I think maybe I should just do, should I just go for this one? Let's just do this one because I'm familiar with this. And I've used this e.l.f. primer, oops, too much, with other things in my collection, and it's fine. So I think I'm going to just stick to what I know somewhat works with the majority of products. So I'm going to use my Profusion Buffing Foundation FD1 brush, and I'm going to try to incorporate as many drugstore brushes and tools that I could use that I have and already enjoy. I also have a sponge from e.l.f. ready to go, but this, ooh, this is completely off. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little thin amount because this is just, If the tone is wrong, I don't know. It's just like, if it's not right, I just feel like it's just really hard to completely get on board with it. Am I the only one? Or do you feel that same way too? Like, if your complexion is off, the color of your foundation and concealer, does it throw off your thoughts, your overall impressions? I don't know. And I'm using really small amounts. Wow. Wow, I really did a number on myself. This is not very, very good. So we're gonna have to load up on the bronzer. Let's go in with the sponge. I think the sponge will help kind of, I don't know, this is a fail beyond It's really hard to show on camera, but it's like not wanting to blend on the sides of my nose. And I feel like it's sort of gathering. Yeah, I'm just not going to, oof. Yeah, I had to go grab some baby wipes and take everything off because that just looked really, really bad. Like I can't get on board that. That just looked, that was, All right, so now that I've wiped everything off, I'm just gonna go in with the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector, and I'm gonna use a brush. This is the Anastasia A30. I don't have an affordable brush that is clean, besides larger like bronzer brushes and powder brushes. So the one that I use for foundation is full of that NYX, so I'm gonna have to use this one. Wow. I can't even believe NYX did me like that. I should have just used the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation that I have in my drawer, but I did use that on my last, I'm pretty sure that was the one that I used on my last drugstore makeup tutorial. So I wanted to kind of change it up. So I'm going to use this brightener from Milani. This is the Rose Under Eye Brightener. I bought this a couple months ago when I purchased the contour, which is actually really good, and the highlighter. This is the Lunar highlighter, but this one is a little bit golden, as you can see. It probably would be good for me now with some color from the summer, but my normal fair tone, you can really see the golden, so that's why I don't really use it as often, but the formulas are great. So I'm going to start with a little bit of this brightener first, right in through here. We are in that back to school season, and I've been getting up earlier than usual. So my under eyes are quite dark and just not in a good place. So I'm going to rely on this to help brighten before I go in with my concealer. Then concealer, I'm going to use the Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Vanilla. I normally use Alabaster, but that's way too light for me right now. I did order this like a month and a half ago, and I do really like the tone of this Vanilla. It's a little bit more golden, but I'm going to add some here under the eyes and the outer corner, and I'm also going to blend this out and pull it down just a little bit too to help with some more coverage, because I don't really have a foundation product on today. I just have that 4-in-1, which is, it's pretty light. When it tints the skin, it just kind of evens things out, but it doesn't add a whole bunch of coverage. So I'm going to rely on my concealer to give me a little bit more coverage right in this zone right here, like right down here. But I'm just blending first under the eye and whatever's left, then kind of smoothing out down in this lower region here on my cheek. I did pick up the Can't Stop Won't Stop pressed powder. This is the fair shade. This I think I'm going to use all over my face because I did purchase the newest powder from Milani. This is the Conceal and Perfect Blur Out powder, and I bought it in the shade Translucent. I think there's only 2 shades, Translucent, and I believe it's the Banana. So I'm going to use this for my under eye area. And you know what? We might as well use a puff sponge maybe to see how that works. I don't know, but this is the e.l.f. sponge. I also like the little minis from Huda. Just any brand. You can get them on Amazon. It comes with like a little pull tab here. I've already taken off. It comes with a cap. So that's pretty neat how you just lift this up and then your powder's like right in there. I work that into the tip of my beauty sponge and just come in here and press right over my concealer. So that did set and blur really nicely. I'm gonna take some through the center of my face, but I'm really just leaving this to the lower under eye area because I do want to use the pressed powder. I can appreciate the extra cap and that little detail there to keep it from just going all over the place, because usually loose powders, when you open your cap, everything flies and it makes a mess. I can't tell you how many times I've worn loose powder on my pants and my shorts. Like it gets everywhere. So I'm going to use some of this. So I'm going to speed through the next few steps. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. I'm going to take the pressed powder and apply that for more coverage on my face, and then I'm going to go next into the bronzer, which I'm using the liquid contour from Milani in the Honey shade. So for the brows, I'm going to use the NYX Brow Pencil. I bought this for my last drugstore video and I actually do enjoy it. I love the Lift and Snatch. I've been using this for like 6 months or so. Love this. Such a great brow pen. The brow glue is fantastic as well. If you want a tinted brow gel, I have one from Maybelline that I would recommend. This is the Express Brow. This is pretty good. Gives a good amount of color and hold. But I'm going to start with the pencil. I'm going to speed through this part because it's going to take a while. And then I'll come back and we'll get to do some blush, the eyes, highlighter, all of the really fun stuff, right? So we're just going to get through this boring portion of the brows really quickly. Pretty good, but that pencil is a must. That, like, hands down is one of the best things that I used. Oh, you know what? I forgot to use the NYX Wonder Stick. I was going to use this because it's double-ended, a bronzer and a highlight, so I'm going to have to use that in my next drugstore video because I used this already. Dang it, it was sitting right there in front. Do you ever do that? It sits right there in front of you. You just, for some reason, you can't see it. I don't know what's going on with me today. My brain is just, I don't know where my brain went. Okay, so now we get to do some eye stuff. I bought the Milani eyeshadow primer. Someone had mentioned that Milani used to have or had a brow wax in a stick from when I did my full face of stick makeup video, but I went on the website and I didn't see that they had that, so I think they probably discontinued that. But I took advantage of that time to go ahead and order this. So I'm just going to take a little bit. I did get a little bit of like an oily clear liquid that came out when I squeezed it because it's a new tube, so once you get past that, it does feel a little oily. I don't know if they changed the formula from last time, but we are going to see how this is going to work for me today. But it looks like a tint, but when I put it on, it doesn't really have much color to it. So I'm gonna give that a minute to kind of set because it does feel a little bit oily. I'm not sure if that's the way it's supposed to. I don't remember that from years ago of using this primer. But I'm going to do blush while that kind of sets a little bit. And I have a highlighter. I bought the Milani Baked Highlighter in Dolce Perla. This looked really, really pretty on the website as well. So I snagged that. This looks incredible. The NYX Sweet Cheeks. I didn't get a chance to use this in my last video, so I think I'm going to go in with this one. This is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint in the shade Baby Doll. And this actually, the formula does remind me of the matte blush wands from Charlotte Tilbury. I have the Pill Talk in that, and this actually reminds me a lot of that. I like to work off of my makeup palette. I don't like to swipe this. It does have a sponge applicator, which is nice. It's different, but the formula is actually quite nice. I've used this before, and it's really, really pretty. So I just take it on the palette, and then I'm going to use an angled brush. I start by tapping where I want the product because this is quite intense. It's really, really pretty. And then I will take my brush and sort of wipe it off on a napkin just to make sure you can work in the palm of your hand. Pink. I think I put too much on. I underestimated the pigment on this. So I think I'm going to use some powder to kind of tone this down. But in the meantime, I'm going to go in with the highlighter from Milani. This is the Baked Highlighter in Dolce Perla. And I'm using a flat setting brush PD5 from Profusion to sort of pick up some of this. It looks like a really big eyeshadow brush, which is great for setting, but I'm going to use it to highlight. Ooh, yes. Thanks, Milani. I feel better now. I feel better with the highlighter. These types of formulas that are baked like this tend to kind of melt into the skin and look so, so pretty. And it reminds me of like the Laura Geller formula, which I'm a huge fan of Laura Geller makeup. In fact, I think I might do a video soon with some more Laura Geller products that I really like. That looks really nice. Very, very intense though. Whoa. So tread softly if you're going to purchase this product. So I have two small palettes for eyes, and I also did pick up the newest cream shadow sticks from Milani. I picked up 2 shades of those, but the mini palettes that I bought were the Ultimate Queen from NYX. This one is your everyday kind of warm browns, tans, some golds, and like a glittery type of shade. And then I also ordered the Milani Gilded Minis. It's been a while since I've used Milani powder eyeshadows. And this one is in the shade called Whiskey Business. It's the all matte option. And when I saw this in person, I immediately thought of my Charlotte Tilbury mini palette, the Super Nudes, and it's very, very similar. Like, hello. I think Milani is trying to do something very close to Charlotte Tilbury. This one from Charlotte Tilbury is, I think, $56, and it's absolutely incredible. The formula feels like a cream, but applies like a powder. The texture is unlike anything else I own or have ever tried. So this to me is definitely very, very unique. But the color story of this one from Milani is very, very similar. So if you like the setup from Charlotte, but you want something a lot more affordable, because honestly, $56 is a lot for something like this, then this one from Milani, which I think was maybe $10, $12 at the most, is a better option, to be honest with you, if you want something that's kind of similar in tones. So I'm going to start with the light shade. Since it's matte, I'm going to use that all over to set the primer a little bit. The only thing that's lacking in these mini palettes is a mirror, but that's just me trying to be super critical because it's super affordable and I have high hopes for this. So if it's pigmented and it works well, then not having a mirror is not the end of the world. So I'm going to go in with this lighter shade here that's kind of a very light tan, and I'm going to use that for my crease. I'm going to start with that and see how that works. Oh yeah, that's going to be pretty good. It's going to do the job nicely. And those are blending out, by the way, very, very well. So I am so happy that everything from the foundation to this point has been working very well for me. So I am feeling much better about my decisions today with my makeup. That's such a pretty, just easy crease color. Throw something on the lid, maybe a bold liner, and be done. Then I'm going to go in with something smaller for blending, and this is a Morphe M506 with the same color. And I'm going to use that to add some color to my lower lash line. And I just kind of do this pretty sloppy because this is just sort of like a base to some of the darker shades that I'm going to be applying, so it doesn't really need to be perfect. Just a little bit of definition there. I'm going to use that same brush from Milani for my crease, and I'm going to go to this shade right next to the light one. So this is what I have in my crease now, and I'm going into this shade here. It's a bit warmer, but not as warm as the other brown. So you can use either one of these, but the other shade is just a little bit more kind of like a terracotta clay color. So this one's a little bit cooler. And I'm going to use this kind of on the outside, outer corner, and then I'm going to blend it. Whoa, that's pigmented. Holy moly. Yes, come through, Milani. Thank you. And I have an area right through here where it's not really wanting to blend. Like there's a spot right there that is just, the color doesn't want to hang on to. So I'm going to try to see if I can fix that by patting. And I'm just going to have to leave it because I would probably have to, I don't know how I'm going to be able to fix this, to be honest with you. This is not very good right now. Nothing wants to stick to that one spot, which is kind of annoying, but we're going to move on. I'm going to take that same color from my crease with a smaller brush, and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. Pretty thick right on this outer corner, and then taper it as I work towards the inner corner. I'm going to use that same brush, and I'm going to go into this brown shade. There's two different shades. This one here is more on the cool side, and this one is a bit more warm, but they are very deep and dark, sort of like an espresso brown color. So I'm going to take the cool tone one and the same small brush, and I'm going to add that to my lower lash line and just kind of smoke out this bottom part here. I'm going to go back in with that very light shade that I did initially as my transition. That's going to be my cleanup shade for my lower lash line. For my lids, I think I'm going to go back into my highlighter since I'm going to use it for the brow bone. I'm going to use some of that also on my lids. Try the NYX Epic Ink Liner in the brown shade. I normally use black liquid liner. I've never used a brown. So we're going to sort of try this sort of method out, and we're going to just kind of see how this ends up wearing today and how it applies, because I don't think I've ever used a liquid liner from NYX. So I'm interested to see if this is any good. Okay, so that automatically looks like a chocolatey brown shade. I wasn't sure if it was going to be dark enough or if it was going to be too light or maybe like too warm of a brown, but this seems to be pretty good so far. And that applied very, very smoothly and very evenly from start to finish. Even though I did lift up the liner off of my lash line, it still looks very smooth and even. So I like that. That's a good one so far. Then I'm going to use some Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara. This is the only drugstore one that I have at the moment. I am still kind of trying to make this work. The formula is a little bit more wet than I prefer, but it's not bad. The liner went on with ease and looks really nice, and I do like the brown liquid liner. I didn't think I would. So I am happy about that. I feel like that's a great discovery today. And I'm going to take that same mascara and apply some to my lower lash line. This is why I don't care for this mascara. It's so wet that I actually got a smudge on my lower lash line. So I'm going to have to let that dry. If that ever happens to you and you get mascara smudge, just let it dry. Don't panic, because if you try to smudge it and clear it off immediately, you're going to make even more of a mess because the formula is going to sort of stain. So just let it dry, and once it completely dries, you will be able to take a brush and flick it off. I know it's kind of annoying sometimes when that happens because you're just immediately wanting to remedy the situation and fix it, but if you just let it dry, it'll get better. So while my little smudge and mistake dries on this eye, I'm going to work on my lip combo for the day. I ordered another lip pencil from NYX in the Nude Pink shade because I fell in love with Peekaboo Neutral again. I rediscovered it after not using it for a decade. So I bought another color, and I am excited to try this one. I have a lipstick from Revlon. I have my NYX Fat Oil, a butter gloss. So I've got a few things, but I'm going to start with lining and filling with this NYX pencil. I lined and filled with the Nude Pink, and I do feel like it is brighter on than what it looks like. To me, I thought it was going to be a lot lighter, but it's pretty. I do like it, and I think it's a really pretty shade to use, and it'll play well, if I can talk, with the NYX. This is the Fat Lip Oil. I have the shade called Supermodel, and I have another color that I like to use, and I bought the butter gloss, but that's like an old favorite of mine. I used to use these little butter glosses years ago. This one actually was a free gift with purchase in the Creme Brulee shade. So those are super thick and plush and just really pigmented and really nice. But I am so thrilled that the lip oil from NYX has not caused any sort of weird texture or dryness on my lips, as I experienced with the Rare Beauty lip oils and other lip oils that I've tried. They just kind of destroy the texture of my lips. The next day, it's like chapped beyond, you can't even believe that that's happening. So this has been really great. So I've been using this almost every day because I do like it. And I did pick up a lipstick from Revlon. This is the Bare It All number 755. And it says cream and it says new. Wow, that is super creamy and just really, really nice. That formula feels actually very luxurious, and I think these were only like $5 at Target, but it feels like they've improved since the last time. I think it's been at least almost 10 years since I used the Revlon lipstick. This is their regular, are these the Color Stay lipsticks? Super lustrous lipsticks. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. I love that. It's more of like a deeper nude, not quite as light like concealer nude, but it's really pretty with that lip liner. And then I'm going with the NYX Fat Oil in Supermodel. I think I have to say that the lip combo is my favorite thing from today. And so this is the completed look. It took us a long time to get here. It was a very long road to get here today, where I feel like the end result is pretty good. We did have a major hiccup in the beginning We erased it, started over, and I feel like the makeup turned out really well today. I do enjoy the liquid liner. That to me was kind of a standout because I wasn't sure how I was gonna like the brown liquid liner. And so I feel like I am definitely gonna use that again. And that is one of the products that I really enjoyed. The eyeshadows, I have to kind of keep working with it. I think this one eye where I have a patch where I didn't want to blend is an area that I feel like I need to sort of focus a little bit more with the primer if I'm going to be using that palette to see if it's the formula or if it's the Milani primer, or maybe it's just my skin that it's acting out today. It could be because I did kind of have to remove the foundation and kind of take everything off. All my skincare, eye care products, everything was taken off. So maybe that's probably what it is. So I'm not going to knock the shadows just yet. I'm going to try them again. The lip combo, to me, I think that's like my top favorite thing from the video. I do like the way the lip looks today. The cheeks are really nice and pink and just bright, which I like. The highlighter is great too. And the 4-in-1 Perfector, I've used that before and it didn't let me down. So I do like the overall finish, but it did take some work to get here. And that's just part of trying products. Some things are going to be a hit. Some things are not going to work out. And that's okay. I still have a lot of product on my desk that I wanted to use that I didn't get a chance to. So I definitely feel like I have to do another drugstore full face tutorial soon with you and try some new things and kind of start switching some things up. I got Physicians Formula too. So we've got lots of goodies to play with and I'm excited to do that video. So stay tuned. Subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Let me know what you think of these products, if you've used them. What do you think of the look? How did I do today? I appreciate you so much. If you stayed until the end, thank you for being here, for watching. I know this was long, but I appreciate you so much for spending some of your day here with me. And I hope that you will enjoy it. Subscribe. Let me know your favorites from the drugstore in the comment section. We can be friends and chat and connect on Instagram. It's always going to be on the screen there. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very, very soon. Bye-bye.